America has never lost a war it threw everything into, but it has a near-perfect record of catastrophe in the ones it thought were manageable. That pattern has a name. And right now, Iran, Venezuela, and Cuba are all walking straight into it. There's a dangerous sweet spot in military conflict, big enough to drain blood and money, small enough that no one declares a national emergency. Call it the middle-sized war trap. Think of it like a rip current. The ones that kill you aren't the dramatic crashing waves. They're the quiet, persistent pull you don't notice until you're already too far out. Vietnam started as an advisory mission. Iraq was supposed to be over in months. Libya was framed as a quick humanitarian correction. In each case, the conflict felt containable right up until it wasn't. And by then, the exit had disappeared. What makes these middle-tier conflicts so lethal to strategy isn't the enemy's strength. It's the absence of a finish line. Full-scale wars force governments to define victory, mobilize completely, and accept real sacrifice. But a war that feels manageable never demands that clarity. Policymakers chase tactical wins without ever agreeing on what the endgame looks like. Right now, there's no coherent public answer to what success in Iran actually means. Regime change, denuclearization, behavioral modification. That ambiguity isn't a talking point gap. It's the structural precondition for every prolonged, costly intervention in modern American history. Here's the counterintuitive part. The more confident a military planner feels going in, the more dangerous the situation becomes. A conflict that looks limited invites limited commitment. And limited commitment is precisely what gives the opponent room to survive, adapt, and outlast you. Iran doesn't need to defeat the US military. It just needs to not lose fast enough. Its layered asymmetric toolkit, cheap drones, sea mines, proxy networks across multiple countries, is purpose-built to drag any conflict into the grinding middle zone where American political will eventually collapses. The trap isn't military, it's temporal. Venezuela fits this template almost perfectly. A collapsing petrostate where removing the current government immediately creates a governance void that history suggests no one is prepared to fill. Cuba fits it too. These aren't unique crises. They're familiar structural conditions dressed in new geography. Viewers who internalize the Middle War model gain something genuinely useful, a filter for evaluating every future conflict the US considers entering. When a conflict is described as limited, surgical, or manageable, that's not reassurance. That's a warning. The wars America remembers as disasters all began as problems that seemed just small enough to solve. Next time someone calls a conflict contained, ask yourself, contained by what, exactly, and for how long?